They were camped out in Shittim. They were close to the promised land. Moses had already gotten the word from God that he will only see it, but he won't go in it. And over 2 million people missed out on the promise. He said, because the people camped out in Shittim. And Joshua comes back later on and tells them to get up from Shittim and let's go over and possess the land. And one of the challenges and one of the problems with camping out is Shittim is translated as moisture. And truth be told, when you've been living in a dry place for a long time, when you've been living in a wilderness long time, if you're not careful, you'll settle for the first moist place you come about. It's not as good as where you're going, but it's better than where you've been. Okay, that's why some of us settle for things that's less than what God has for us, only because it's better, but it's not God's best. It's not best. It's not what God really has planned for you, but you cannot get to a place in your life where you're looking for better and miss out on best, okay? And when God has a plan and a purpose for your life, you gotta be careful that you're not snuggling up beside better when God has best waiting for you on the other side. Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, I've been settling for better, but it's not God's best. I've been settling for something that's moist, but it's not what God has for me. And when you look back over your life and think about where God has brought you from, God has a plan and a purpose for my life. That's the best thing for me. Oh God, here it is now. Moses writes this sermon and Moses tells them that God has been keeping you to carry you. God has been caring for you to deliver you into the place that he's purposed and promised for you. And now Moses tells them he shielded you. He cared for you while you were in your season of wilderness, but not for you to live there, but for you to grow and come out of there. Here it is. Here, Moses goes on and he used the metaphor, or he used the story, and he talks about an eagle. He says, as an eagle stirs up its nest and hovers over its young. He says what God was doing is God was hovering over you. God was sustaining you. God was caring for you. And just like an eagle, when you think about what an eagle does, the